value, meaning, and money. What are the relationships between those? Much of the activity that we observe around us, even the activity that we might be involved in ourselves, is focused on the pursuit of money. But what is the actual value of money? Money has a potential value rather than an actualized value. And what I mean by that is its value lies in our ability to exchange it for something that is truly meaningful or valuable to us. For instance, I might have a backpack full of money, be hungry, thirsty, and without shelter. The value of the money is not in the fact that I can eat it or drink it or construct myself a shelter with it, but rather in the fact that I can exchange it for food, for drink, etc. So money has a potential value, but it's only actualized in the act of exchanging it in a transaction. So there's a link there, but however obvious and simple that understanding might be, it's a truth that we often lose sight of. And people start pursuing money as if that is the ultimate value and has value in itself. You know, having more numbers in your bank account does not actually make you more valuable. That's potential value. Having more paper in your wallet does not really add meaning to your life. It just has the potential to do something meaningful. And it is that misunderstanding where we might start pursuing finances for the sake of finances that makes the words of Jesus in Matthew 16:26 ring as true today as what they were when they were originally spoken, when he said, "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his own soul?" You see, if the essence of your life, if that which gives your existence meaning is lost, then what does all the other possessions mean? What is the value of having bigger bonds, of bigger bank accounts, of all those stuff, if it does not add meaning and value to your life? So what I want to do today is, the first point I want to make is value is linked to meaning. If something is meaningful to you, then it has real value to you. And if something has value for you, it is because it's meaningful. And what I want to do is to show that there are other ways of gaining meaning beyond just the pursuit of finances. Now that, gaining money and gaining finances might be necessary, and it might be put to good use, but there are other ways of gaining value and meaning beyond the pursuit of money. For instance, Proverbs 4 verse 7 says that in all your getting, get wisdom. In other words, your aim and your pursuit and that around which your activities are structured should not only be focused on gaining more finances, but there should be an intentional pursuit of wisdom. In fact, Proverbs 16 verse 16 says, to gain wisdom is to be desired more than gold, and to gain understanding is more valuable than silver. So there's a place, there are ways of gaining meaning. For instance, in a simple, honest conversation with a friend, you can gain an insight, the understanding, a new way of interpreting life and experience that adds meaning to your life that is immeasurable in financial terms. Reading books, I am often amazed how I am able to purchase a book for $9 that contains 40 years of a person's life in pursuit of wisdom. And he basically, or she basically, gives it away for $10. That's exponentially much greater value than the monetary, value that's placed upon that book. Listening to videos like this. Today we live in a world where teachings and ministry like this can happen, and it's made available freely. And those are avenues and ways of gaining meaning and gaining value that we should intentionally pursue beyond just the pursuit of finances. Now, wisdom and the knowledge I've mentioned, one way, listening, reading, hearing, but there's another way. 1 John 4 verse 7 speaks about the fact that in the act of loving another, we know God. Wow. The act of loving is an act in which we gain the highest level of knowledge. It's not just an intellectual knowledge, but it's an experiential, tangible, intimate knowledge of God that is accessible in the act of loving others. So that too can be an intentional activity, an intentional goal where I plan to be in relationship, to give my attention, to give of myself in relationship with others in a way that cannot be measured financially. Let me see all the things that I wanted to say. One more point I wanted to make. Let me just have a drink of my tea. The last point I wanted to make is that value and meaning is not simply discovered, but created. When I see another person as valuable, when I pay attention and esteem them as meaningful, that act doesn't just uncover value and meaning that is there already. It's an act that creates value. But that whole thought that value and meaning is not simply discovered but created is probably best left for another video, because there's some beautiful ideas and thoughts in that I want to explore further. So let me summarize what I wanted to communicate today. And that is, first of all, Measure value by what meaning it adds to your life. Not just in terms of numbers, but what does this mean? What meaning does it add to me and those I'm in relationship with? So value doesn't just equal money. Value equals meaning. Secondly, we can pursue meaning and value in other ways besides the pursuit of finances. We can pursue understanding. We can pursue wisdom. We can do it in conversations, in books, in study groups. You know, our Mimesis Academy, we've had students that have, for 3 years in a row, entered the same one-year class because of the richness of conversation that adds a dimension and meaning to their lives that is not just worth the time and effort that they spend, but exponentially beyond that time. So there's ways of pursuing value and meaning beyond just the pursuit of finances. The other way we said of pursuing wisdom and knowledge is in not just intellectually, not just in conversation, but in the act of loving. That is something that is tremendously meaningful and valuable, and that does not have to cost much. And the last point, which we'll probably make another video of, is that value and meaning is not simply discovered, it is created. Thank you for listening. You know, if this is something that you enjoyed, why don't you subscribe, send the video to a friend, and share it. Thank you. Bye. Now, we love what we do in terms of opening up possibilities for new meaning, for creating new beauty, for helping people to access thoughts and possibilities beyond the constructs and ideas that they've been familiar with up until this stage. And so if you have found these videos and our ministry of that's something that's meaningful or valuable to you, won't you help us to continue with this work? Have a look at alwaysloved.net, our website. We so appreciate those of you who have decided that you want to support this, that this is something that is truly valuable. Thank you for that. Bye-bye.